So, before we really jump into our deep dive today, I actually want to ask you to do something a little different.
Yeah, we want to start by just, well, grounding ourselves for a second.
Right. If you are, doing the dishes or rushing through your inbox right now, I just want you to pause just for a moment.
Obviously, if you're driving, keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, please do. But mentally, just step away from the chaos for a second. I want you to take a really deep breath.
Just let the noise of the day kind of fade into the background.
Exactly. Because today's source material, it really demands that we are present. So just breathe in and let it out.
There is no rush right now. We have all the time we need.
Right. So in that space of quiet, I want you to hear this passage. It's from Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 19. And just listen to it like it's the very first time you've ever heard these words.
Like it's a brand new concept being introduced directly to you.
Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them.
To fulfill them. Or, as the reflection we're studying today translates it, to bring them to fullness.
To bring to fullness. And, if you're listening and thinking like, okay, ancient religious texts, what does this actually have to do with my commute right now?
Yeah, it sounds super academic at first glance.
It does. But the answer is, it has absolutely everything to do with your life today. Because this text, it completely dismantles this really popular, really damaging assumption we all carry around.
Right, this idea that true spirituality requires you to basically reject the physical world.
Exactly. Like you have to ignore the messy, everyday realities of your life to be a good person. But our source today argues the exact opposite.
It's actually a fascinating psychological reflection. It tackles everything from, why we are so obsessed with constant pleasure to why people get so bitter and cynical as they get older.
So our mission today is to figure out how this concept of fulfillment can actually elevate your totally ordinary, everyday existence into something that has, well, infinite value.
But to get there, we really need to set the stage. We need to go back in time and look at the living context of that quote.
Yeah, let's build the scene. Picture this. Like I'm telling you a story around a campfire. It's dusty, it's incredibly hot, and you are standing in a massive, anxious crowd on a hillside.
Right, you are surrounded by people who have lived their entire lives under a very strict, very rigid set of ancient laws.
We're talking hundreds of specific rules. What you can eat, how you wash your hands, how you resolve a property dispute.
Yeah, it was all-consuming. It was a heavy burden for the average person.
So you're standing there, and this historical figure, Jesus, steps up to speak. And there is real tension in the air, right?
Oh, absolutely. The tension is palpable because people are wondering, is this guy revolutionary? Is he here to just burn the whole system down?
They were ready for a cosmic disruptor. They thought he was going to say, all right, everyone, the old rules are dead. We are wiping the hard drive.
And honestly, if you look at the literary structure of the text we have, it makes total sense why people felt that way. Even today, people misunderstand this because of how the texts are written.
Yeah, let's unpack that literary disconnect. Because our source material goes deep into this. The Old Testament and the New Testament, they feel like they are from completely different planets.
They do, because the genres just do not match at all.
Right. Reading Leviticus or Deuteronomy, it's like reading a dense legal contract.
It's basically ancient tax law crossed with a civil engineering manual. It is meticulous and focused on societal boundaries.
Tax law, exactly. It's dry, it's rigid, and then you turn the page to the Gospels and suddenly, bam.
Yeah, suddenly you are reading poetry, you're reading intimate narratives and parables about grace and freedom.
So your brain automatically goes, oh, the author completely abandoned the tax law. The old way is obsolete.
Right. That shift in genre creates this false narrative in our minds. We set up this dichotomy between a harsh, rigid past and a liberated present.
But wait, let me push back on that. Because if the language is so different and the vibe is so different, it's completely natural to assume the old way was abolished. How does the source text reframe this for us?
Well, the text is adamant that this sensation of a total break is just a massive misinterpretation. Jesus explicitly says, I have not come to abolish.
Right, I didn't come to delete the software.
Exactly. The goal was never to destroy the ancient laws or the natural human order. The goal was to reveal their true meaning.
To bring them to their ultimate purpose.
Right, to bring them to fullness. It's taking the foundation that was already there and finally building the magnificent house on top of it.
Okay, I want to try an analogy here just to make this super concrete for you listening. Think about a really complex stained glass window.
Oh, I like where this is going.
So imagine looking at it in a totally dark room. It's just heavy lead and dark, dense glass. It feels rigid. It doesn't look beautiful.
That's the old law, the rigid rules.
Exactly. But fulfillment isn't smashing the window. Fulfillment is what happens when the sun finally rises and shines directly through that glass.
Right. The light doesn't abolish the glass. It doesn't get rid of the lead.
No. It reveals what the window was actually designed to do.
Yeah.
The glass is the same, but the light gives it this brilliant, infinite purpose.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. And that brings us to the core philosophical question that this passage is asking us today.
Yeah, because we aren't just talking about ancient history, we're talking about your actual life, your Tuesday morning.
Right. If the goal is not to abolish the natural world, but to fulfill it, the question is, what parts of your own life are you secretly trying to abolish?
Oh, wow. That is a heavy question.
It is. What parts of your everyday human experience have you hidden away from God because you assumed they weren't spiritual enough?
Like, where have you split your life down the middle? We all do this, right? We have our good spiritual box and then our secular messy box.
Exactly. Our source material points out that we often feel this weird guilt about the physical world. And the text uses a very specific word for this mindset.
Yeah, Manichaeism, which sounds like, I don't know, a medieval cult.
Well, it was an ancient religion, actually. But the psychological trap still infects us today. Manichaeism is basically the belief that the physical material world is inherently bad, and only the spiritual invisible world is good.
So it's that voice in your head saying, because I am a physical body with emotions and desires, I am flawed. Anything I enjoy physically is probably a distraction from God.
Right. It's the terrible, mistaken belief that God is somehow displeased when you're having fun.
But the source text just obliterates that idea. It says, and this is radical, it says, Jesus accepts absolutely everything human that is good.
Everything. The text specifically lists out playing a game of tennis, listening to a great piece of music, eating a really good meal.
Wait, really? It specifically mentions tennis and eating well.
Yes. It roots the spiritual directly in the physical. It says these mundane, enjoyable things are fundamentally good. They are the stained glass.
That is so incredibly liberating. So
Yeah.
God actually wants us to have a good time. He wants us to have hobbies and genuinely rest.
He wants to take those standard definition human moments and basically remaster them in 4K.
Huh, yes. Remastered in 4K with a supernatural dimension.
And that includes what the original text calls our illusions, which in this context means our human hopes.
Right, like looking forward to a vacation or getting excited about a new hobby. Those aren't distractions. They are essential to a fulfilled life.
So we really want to let this sink in. We want to guide you through a moment of reflection on this exact concept.
Yeah, let's actually do that right now. I want you to just settle in for a few minutes. We're going to do a guided meditation.
If you are in a safe place to do so, go ahead and close your eyes.
Just close your eyes, let your shoulders drop, take a slow, deep breath in, and let it out. Just feel the physical weight of your own body. That body is good.
It is not a burden. It is a gift.
Right. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to picture a scene of incredible natural beauty. Maybe it's a forest bathed in morning sunlight or a quiet beach at dawn. Pausa 5 segundos. The air is crisp. The light is warm and golden. You feel completely at peace. And into this light, imagine a presence walking toward you.
Let it be the historical figure of Jesus, or simply the profound living embodiment of divine fulfillment.
This presence doesn't look at you with judgment. There is no scolding. Just a deep, incredibly warm gaze of complete acceptance. Pausa 5 segundos. Now, I want you to ask yourself a question in the silence of your own mind. What is one genuinely good, simple thing in my life that I've been failing to appreciate?
What is one joy I have felt guilty for experiencing? Pausa 5 segundos.
Imagine handing that simple joy, that tennis game, that meal, that quiet morning coffee, over to this divine presence. Watch as the light hits it. Watch it become something sacred. Pausa 5 segundos. You don't have to escape your life to find meaning. The meaning is waiting for you right here in the mundane. Take one more deep breath. Pausa 5 segundos. And whenever you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back to the present.
That concept of finding the sacred in the mundane, It actually reminds me of Père Teilhard de Chardin.
Oh, the French philosopher and mystic, right?
Yeah, exactly. In his book, The Divine Milieu, he talks endlessly about the sanctification of human endeavor. He basically says that by virtue of creation, nothing is strictly profane for those who know how to see.
Nothing is profane. That is powerful.
Right. He believed that all human effort, all natural goodness, is part of this grand cosmic evolution toward the divine. So when you enjoy that tennis game, you are literally participating in the fulfillment of creation.
Okay, but I have to play devil's advocate here. If God wants us to enjoy life, and the physical world is inherently good, does that mean the goal of life is just to pursue endless pleasure?
And that is the trap.
Because my immediate reflex is like, awesome, I'm going to spend all my money on vacations, I'm never going to do anything hard again, and I'm just going to seek comfort 24/7.
Yeah, the hedonistic trap. Our source material makes a very sharp pivot right here. It explicitly warns against taking this physical enjoyment to a toxic extreme.
Right. It says that if you demand to live only in a state of rest, only in a state of pleasure and well-being, you will fail.
The exact quote is that you will never be happy because that is impossible.
Why is it impossible, though?
Yeah.
Like, biologically and psychologically, why does endless pleasure make us miserable?
It's what psychology calls the hedonic treadmill. If you artificially engineer life with absolutely zero friction, you literally destroy your brain's capacity to appreciate the good things.
Right. If every single meal is a 10-course luxury feast, eating well stops being a joy. It just becomes your new, boring baseline.
Exactly. Your dopamine receptors get fried. If you never work hard, resting isn't restorative anymore. It's just lethargy. You need the contrast of effort to experience the fullness of rest.
So, because a completely friction-free life is statistically impossible, we are inevitably going to face disappointment.
Yes. The source points out that life has seasons. There are periods where we are just heavily weighed down by exhaustion and deceptions.
And this brings us to the second extreme the text warns about. When that hedonistic fantasy shatters, what happens to us?
Well, the great danger here, especially as we get older, is how our personality calcifies. We become what the Spanish text calls regañones.
Oh, regañones. That translates to, like, a scolding person, right? A bitter complainer.
Yes, the aging pessimist. It's the person who realizes the world isn't a frictionless utopia, so they decide the whole thing is a scam.
Their default reaction to literally everything becomes, what a horror, life is terrible. They just marinate in cynicism.
But here is where the theology gets incredibly sophisticated. The source references this ancient, famous prayer called the Salve.
The Salve Regina.
Right. And in that prayer, it literally calls human life a valley of tears.
Wait, okay, let me stop you there. Because if the source admits that life is a valley of tears full of exhaustion, isn't becoming a caustic pessimist actually a completely logical reaction?
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, if it's a valley of tears, the bitter guy is just the one telling the truth.
But the text masterfully unpacks the duality in that exact same prayer. Yes, it acknowledges the valley of tears, but in the very same breath, the prayer looks at the divine, to the Virgin Mary in this tradition, and calls her life, sweetness, and hope.
Ah, so you have the crushing reality of the valley right alongside the sweetness and the hope. You hold them both at the same time.
Exactly. You need both realities. The antidote to becoming a bitter complainer isn't toxic positivity.
It's not plastering a fake smile on your face and pretending you aren't exhausted.
No, it's finding divine comfort within the exhaustion. The source uses this beautiful phrase, "Less bad I have you, my God."
Menos mal, Dios mío, que te tengo a ti.
Wow. That is just a profound sigh of relief. It acknowledges the heavy weight of the world, but it finds an unshakable anchor.
So we are rejecting the immature fantasy of constant pleasure on one side.
Yes.
And we're rejecting the despair of endless pessimism on the other side, which brings us to the ultimate synthesis of the text.
The middle ground. As long as it is not a sin, every normal, natural, good thing in your life has latent value.
God takes those temporal things, the highly temporary things like a tennis match or a good cup of coffee, and gives them an infinite value by bringing them into a supernatural order.
They become the stained glass illuminated by the sun. But to experience this true fullness, the source adds one final critical component.
The hardest part, honestly.
Yeah, it says we must accept the cross.
Right, which means finding that exact same supernatural meaning, that exact same infinite value in your suffering.
Fullness doesn't just mean upgrading your hobbies. It means finding divine presence in your physical exhaustion and your daily disappointments.
So to summarize all of this for you listening, Jesus came to fulfill. He brings fullness to your joy, fullness to your rest, and fullness to your cross.
It's a total, all-encompassing upgrade of the human experience.
It really is. And we don't want to just leave you with high-minded theory today. We have a concrete practice for you, derived straight from the source.
This will take you maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and you don't need any special materials.
Today, we challenge you to intentionally ask God to teach you how to enjoy the simple things.
Just actively pray or reflect and ask for the ability to see the good side of life today.
Right. Use it as a guard against that slow creep of complaining. When you feel yourself getting bitter in traffic or dealing with a stressful email, just pause. Ask for the grace to see the temporal good in that moment and let it be elevated.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
Lay it on us.
If every ordinary, non-sinful action can be elevated to have an infinite supernatural value, how does that change the way you view the absolute most mundane, boring task on your to-do list for tomorrow?
Oh, that is such a good question. Scrubbing the burnt frying pan suddenly has infinite potential.
Exactly. The meaning is already there. You just have to let the light in.
Think about the potential hidden in your most boring task today. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.